8, but it's so damn close that I cannot wait much longer. So I decide just to turn on the microphone and let's switch to the scene. Here we go, guys. Welcome in, everybody. I'm so happy you could join us today. And let's hope that we can make something productive today. I'm going to try and add some audio today to the game so that we can at least have a little bit of a feeling of what that does to the game feel and the actual gameplay. Obviously, these sounds that I will add today are not going to be final products. I just downloaded some crappy sounds, most likely, but hopefully they will add a little bit of ambiance so that we at least can hear stuff. First things first, I'm going to just add something to maybe the water. I was thinking that is an ideal thing to start with, and then add some stuff to the bakery, for example, to have some sounds coming from that, just to basically have a feel for what that could sound like. Because obviously, um, we're going to have to experiment that with that a little bit. And then we're going to see what that actually does to the audio mix, if you can hear it from left to right and stuff like that, which we already experimented with before. So obviously we know that it works, just have to figure out uh, if it gives enough of a feeling of audio spatiality so that you can hear it left, right, moving back and forth, so that actually a blind person could have a sense of where we're actually going. And from there, obviously, once we have a few sounds in, we can start with more sounds. But it's also going to be a bit of a feeling, just testing some stuff. Um, and after that, maybe we can do some more pixel art or stuff like that. I haven't thought of that yet. So let's see where we get from here, right? So I have downloaded some audio. As you can see, there's some steps that I found here. For example, dirt steps and snow steps, stone steps, water steps. Well, I'm not going to let her walk in water for now, at least, but it could become handy later. And some steps for inside on top of wood. Then also I found some river sounds. That's the first thing that I want to add. Basically, add it to the river. It should always be there, so that doesn't really need an audio manager or something like that. But for all the other things, I might add that in a different way. Jesus, uh, she's actually called Gaia, obviously. So Gaia doesn't maybe necessarily know how to walk on water, although she's Mother Earth, so maybe she can. Oh, well, this is not Mother Earth. This is my daughter. So walking on water could be. Who knows? It might actually be a quality in one of the later levels that she can learn to walk on water. That would be freaking cool, right? Anyway, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasal. I'm still having a cold. I had the entire last week and I felt pretty bad, so I didn't have any progress last week either. Hopefully, it will not be too annoying for you guys. I will do my best not to have it interfere, basically. Connecting to chat, that doesn't mean any good. Well, okay. I hope you guys didn't see me suffer or go offline because I see no dropped frames, but my chat had to restart. I don't know. Anyway, let's add an audio source to the water reflection, basically. So I'm going to add this river ambience clip. If I set everything up correctly, which I hope I did, then once I hit play, you should be able to hear um, sound immediately because I put the Unity sound separate from anything else. Like we heard last week, my desktop audio was a bit too loud to make sure that we could hear Lenta when she was talking and still didn't work properly. So maybe next time I can also do that differently, but I didn't figure that out back then. So it's all new. I have to learn that kind of stuff. So let's see. We should be hearing some audio, or at least you guys should be hearing some audio. I hardly hear anything, most likely. You let me know if you hear something that sounds like a river. Yep. Okie dokie. That sounds good to me. So that's already a good start. That should be there all the time. So in distance, it should not be too difficult. So what I want to do now is add to the bakery also an audio sound, and that can also actually be start up from the moment that we start. So we can also maybe hear it a little bit louder when we get closer. Um, I would say that this should all be correct. We should not have to change that. And just to make things a little bit more interesting, we should start with Gaia a little further so we don't hear much yet. So let's see if that works. And obviously I need to change the volume and the pitch and everything like that, but I think we already hear stuff because I hear it. So that's way too loud, that's for sure. But let's see if we can hear it more clearly when we get closer. Does it pan away or anything? Not really, right? Bakery, well, I did a mole sound. For now I have nothing else. So. But does it get more to the left? Does it get softer? I don't really hear the difference on my setup, but could be that it gets louder when we get closer. So basically here it should be loudest. Same levels all around. That's not good. Okay, then we have to figure out why that is. Because Aya does have the audio listener on her, so that should provide us with the spatial audio. And I thought that circle basically is the area where she hears stuff. So let me see why that is not correct. Same levels all around. That's not good. Oh wait, wasn't that because of this Doppler effect? What again was the Doppler? Much of it is changed based on the relative velocity between audio listener and audio source. Good question. I don't know what that means. So let's see. Okay, so we should get this down, I think. Would be nice if that actually responded to something. There we go. I don't want it to be too far away when it already catches. So let's see if that maximum distance, that should be also lower. Wait, should I also put this to 3D to make it work? Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. And the max distance should be lower, I think. Let's put it to 150 all the time there. Let's see. I don't hear the bakery yet, so I think this is working already better. Trying to see if I listen, if I can hear it, but sounds a bit quiet to me if it is there. $500 should have stayed. Yeah, then I hear it. Let's put it to 200. I hear it, right? You? Okay, so let me check. So it becomes immediately, it goes right when we leave. but I do want to hear it. Hmm. I heard it. Now I don't. Okay, let me check that again because I did do some changes here. I don't want to change everything. Let's see what it does now. Spatial sounds is always difficult for me. I hear it. I don't hear it. Hear it. And it dies away. But I should hear it through the entire building, I would say, not just here. Can I center that or something? Because I don't really see a way of centering that. Let me see. This doesn't really do what I'm expecting it to do. I would like that one. Can I just click you, mister? I have to remove this one, I guess. No, I cannot grab you. There you go. I had you, and now you go again. Doppler effect was the distance. Okay. Good vibes develops. What did you do? How did you get yourself timed out? Welcome, by the way, I guess. Sorry, I cannot see you in the list of users, otherwise I could undo this, but I don't know what you tried to say, but it timed you out for 300 seconds. Sorry about that. So, let me try this again. I don't know exactly what is happening with this sound and why it's not being picked up. I would expect it to be picked up here as well, but it's just being picked up here. Just in general, tip for audio, we hear things with two ears with which we determine direction. Yeah, the, which the thing that just doesn't compute for me is why it's only on the right side of the building and not on the front. So maybe I should move the audio source instead to the bakery instead of here. Let me do that. Remove component. Because I want to first see if I choose bakery. Where is the object? Yeah, see, it's on the right. That's the problem. So bakery itself is more in the middle. Can I can change that, right? Where's the center of this? What was this again? There's a way to change where this pivot point is, but Half Moon. Hello there. How are you doing today? We are doing perfect. I hope you are doing very good yourself as well. It's good to have you here. Always nice. So let me move this audio source up here. Separate game object for sources. Yeah, I'm gonna do that anyway. I was planning to make an audio manager that can play all the sounds. The only thing is that these objects, like the water in the bakery, those basically should have their sound all the time because, yeah, doesn't matter. It's always there. So as soon as the bakery comes into play, you should hear the audio. But I might have to rethink that later. Um, anyway, let me pull this and put it here and then see how it goes. This should be the same. We have the 2D should become 3D. And also basically I should do that on the water because I didn't do that yet. This should be normal. I think that is okay. Now let's check for this one. I didn't check anything here, so this should also go to the facial blend 3D just to check what it does. Hey, somehow I'm stuck there. That was weird. Here we hear it. There it dies away. Animating the first scene in my game, but just a test animation, nothing fun. Hey, that doesn't matter. Animating is animating. If you do it in a final scene or you do it in a first scene, it doesn't matter. I mean, if I ever get myself to have a jump animation, I will be super happy because now it's just running in the air. Instead of putting source components on a new game object so you can move it without change the actual bakery. Yeah, yeah, that's why basically this bakery object is here. Um, so okay, I get what you mean. So one thing that has everything, but then do I trigger it only when I'm at the bakery? Because that thing is positioned somewhere in the middle of nowhere, right? I'm a bit nasal. That's what I was saying before. My microphone is the same one as it was before, but I'm a little with a flu, so have been for a week, I guess. A reference of it. That is something I'm going to have to figure out how to do. Obviously, I will want it to basically have a trigger of the audio like here in the middle, so anywhere I where I am here should trigger the sound, right? Um, so you have a reference to your audio. Hmm. Hey, by the way, guys, I didn't even notice, but I just see it in the left bar of my Twitch activity feed. Congratulations, everyone. We reached 250 followers last week. That is quite cool. Now for the subscriptions, right? The ones that actually bring us money. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that reference to an object. Because I was thinking indeed to make an empty object here called the audio manager and then put a script on that. Um, let's get some hype for that. Yeah, that's nice, right? Get a hype going. Oh my God, no, you make me sing again. Are you nuts? Poor viewers, what the heck do you want me to sing this time? Remember, I'm having a nasal issue, right? I don't have to sing. Why not? You redeemed it. Would make sense if if you actually make me sing then. Anyway, this would have all the audio clips on it, right? So it's to get the hype. Yay! Hype! 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 Yeah. My wife always says that I am sounding to her most of the time like a rapper because whenever I have songs like "Boom Shake the Room," I go nuts. That's the most I can do. Well, thank you very much for the hype. I have to keep drinking. That's especially important now that I have a little bit of a full nose. So think about this for a second because I want an audio manager, and of course I will want a script on that. Um, I should have that at 000 basically, because it doesn't really matter where it is. But so I've been doing those things, but the audio manager should basically just play the clips whenever they need to be played. That's usually how I would do this. Then again, I'm not super experienced, so maybe I'm not thinking this through good enough. You basically say, like, let's put all the clips in here, if I am correct, or just one audio source, and that audio source will have no clip, but it just gets the clip whenever it needs it, because we can make a list of clips for sure to pick from. That before, couldn't really figure it out. I've done something similar before, I think, but let me see. It's a long time ago. Maybe in this one. Let me just open up another Unity. Like the entire gang is here today, right? That's very nice. I thought I also have an audio manager here, but it does play audio. Where does it play the audio? I don't remember. Layer. This has an audio source. Okay, so that doesn't have it. It has an audio listener as well. No, that's not the one. I had a solution, I know it, where I have multiple audio sources that I use, and that I basically just turn on the one that I need at the moment that I need it. And I just can't remember where I did that. Because also I'm going to have to write code basically to alternate between different steps for Gaia when she's running. Um, so I'm going to have to Google myself a little bit of stuff. I could do something with audio clips that are just put on objects and then just have a list of those audio clips, I guess. But that still doesn't get me the audio clips whenever I want them. Because I will want to also be playing with pitch, with that kind of stuff, the volume of it. I have some general ideas of how to do that. What I want is to have one place, central place where I have all the audio clips that I can use, or at least to manage them, and basically to play them at the correct moments. So that means if I'm in the center of the bakery, it should have there the reference to the audio file. So whenever I get close enough, then it should start. Um, Kind of wondering how, because like you said, I can make. Hi, Lyrin the blind guy. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you can join us because this is especially for you. Well, also you. I shouldn't say especially for you, but everyone who's blind. I'm trying to figure out how to do this properly. So I'm trying to do the spatial 3D audio to give you guys the feeling of where things are. I've already started by putting uh, a sound on the river. So basically, you're walking on the riverside. So you should always hear the river where you're walking. And I added the bakery. So the bakery also has a sound on it now. So as soon as you get in the vicinity of the bakery, and let me just demonstrate that by actually starting, you should start to hear. the bakery. So, and it should become louder when I get closer. So tell me if that works for you. So this still is not meant for actually game elements, like you have to jump and stuff, but this I'm adding to give you guys at least a feeling of the ambience that is there. So it will also need voiceovers because Gaia will tell you what she's seeing and stuff like that. Um, but it for now at least gives audio to those things that you're passing. So you're passing a bakery, so things is going on inside, you will hear it. Then you'll also need to. Sounds good. Good to hear that. Then you'll also need separate references for all audio sources, or move the sources to desired sources or to the specific location. Yeah, so what I might do, because I was not satisfied yet with the place that the audio triggers, instead of actually having the bakery object as the place where the sound triggers on, put an extra empty object that basically does nothing but hold the audio source. Put that in the center of where I want it to start, and then that should make it better. The thing for example, for the water reflection, it doesn't really matter because the water is there all the time, right? So yeah, I do have a cold. You're here correctly. I've been having a cold for more than a week, basically, and last week I was really feeling terrible. I was so tired. I had some days where I basically hardly could even do my work. Could not focus. I had a headache. I was tired. Um, it's already a lot better right now, but I'm still not out of the woods. So yeah, you can still hear it. A long time, yeah. Well, it's apparently from what I've been hearing, a lot of people have this for weeks. So yeah, COVID may be out of the running again, but the flu that we're getting now is stronger than it was before, so we have it for a longer time. But I'm okay. I'm okay. It just sounded a little bit nasal. Heard what I did with the wave sound in my game, right? But based on audio, you can hear stuff correctly. Yeah, that's already something that is good. I heard what you did with the wave sound in my yes, but I cannot really say that I remember that right now. I had a really short moment in the morning that I played this when there was no colleague around yet. By the way, you guys, if you haven't yet, Incredibro has posted in the Discord a game that he has made, which is really cool, where you have to program your way through a level and use the least amount of lines to do it. It is absolutely cool. I really like it. It's very basic in the visual department. Doesn't really matter though. What is cool about it is the unique way of navigating your way around. So you have to write program code um, to actually get your player through. And it really also depends a little bit on timing. So if you haven't checked it out yet, find his share your progress link where he has his link to his new game. It's a game jam game. He's going to win something for sure because there were three entries and there were three prizes. So, but for sure, try and figure that game out and try and see if you can do it in less lines than the number one. It was not me. I got 59 lines because I had to figure out first how to actually do it. But once I did, it was pretty straightforward. Looks very cool, and I'm sure you can do a lot more with that even in Credibro. So go check that out. You guys have the link to the Discord. If not, I will gladly give it to you guys. By the way, I'm working on accessibility for one game which is so complex, and when I'll finish with it, it will be so epic if I'll be able to do this actually. Top-down RPG with a lot of puzzles and mechanics like from the Zelda style game, so my dream can come true. Wow, that is amazing. Really, that is really cool. I really one day want to make a game like that as well. And yes, now that I'm looking already into accessibility options, this is one of the things that I could definitely take into consideration if I ever make a game like that. But Incredibro, we might have to discuss this a little later because, of course, in the chat it might be a bit too much. But from what I think, at least, what I could do is put the audio source as a separate object, like put it right here, audio. I don't know, audio. Just call it audio. I don't care. I put the audio source here instead of on the bakery, so I'll take it out here. Remove, put it in the audio, and then I can move that first to where I actually want it. So right there, like the center of the bakery, maybe even a bit upright because it's more like it's here, like there. And then I'll put in my audio clip, which is this one. Then I'll put this on loop, play on awake, spatial blend to 3D, and the rest should be fine. But I'm gonna play with that, of course. This means a lot for me, so I'll do everything to support you and give my feedback. You know, that is so awesome. I've been reaching out to a museum here in the Netherlands. I hope they will contact me soon. It's called Museum, which basically means to see. So a museum that lets you experience what it would be like to be blind or visually impaired. And I cannot actually wait to experience that museum, to see that, and well, or not see that, and to experience what would be like, because it will help me also to make my game better if I understand what it's like. Good luck with the sounds during Spirit. I have to go now. Have a great stream. Thank you, Fran, and thank you for joining me. Even if it was for just a little bit, it's fine. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. You can also have a separate script on Gaia which triggers audio source when desired distance is reached and lerp the volume based on distance. Yeah, of course I could do that. I was also doing that before. Before I did this with the audio listener on Gaia, what I did was basically have the audio source was on the camera, and then what I did was try to play with the pitch and the stereo pan based on where I was compared to the object, which is a lot more difficult and a lot more consuming of resources because you have to actually program everything. So let me try now that I've put the audio on this separate object, what that does, if that's a little better than what it was before. It should be. Sorry. So let's play. Always takes a while, sorry for that. I don't hear any bakery sounds yet, so that's okay. Sorry, before I do that. By the way, did you ever play some of the Vanillaware games before, like Odin Sphere or Dragon's Crown? I've played Odin Sphere, was able to complete half of the game years ago, and it was so interesting. Vanillaware did so great job by implementing audio cues for the stuff around, and it helped me a lot. Need to get back to this and complete the game. I don't think I have, but that's very interesting to have a look at for sure. Now, I have been looking for games that do something with these settings. I should be. Do we already hear some sounds from the bakery? It's really hard for me to hear because I hear my laptop zooming instead of audio. Great, because it's on the right. Basically, you just are standing at the edge of the bakery. I might do the distance a little bigger so that it creates better sound. So now we're basically standing in front of the bakery. Should be its strongest, and then when we walk away, it goes to the left and dies. So the audio effect, I think, works. It's a bit too strong, obviously, because I want this to be background sound, but I'm just putting this in to get a general feel of if this works with the spatial audio, to give you the idea of where you are and that there's something with activity going on. Like right now we're walking past activity, and there's some weird things with the floor, I think, that I have to look at because I sometimes get stuck. So that if I walk fast by it, you just shared a good example of spatial sound on my Discord. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I will definitely check that out. And I'm pretty sure that there's stuff that I don't know yet. I will not check it out now. I don't have the time anyway. So um, there's gonna have to be something that I figure. I don't always get stuck. When I run now, I don't get stuck. But it's really cool to see that when you run past it, the sound just goes like quickly. I think that's really cool. It adds something for sure. I think now one of the things that we can do is that we have a look at the steps for Gaia when she's running. Because I was thinking to have several clips for that, and I will not, um, most likely not include them here. It's if it's just 2D, 2.5D game, the spatial audio like stereo sound is enough. If it's wide enough, implementing could help a lot to indicate interactables, platforms, etc. Yeah. For the interactables, obviously, I will make a more prominent sound. What I want is for ambient sounds, so things that make the world feel more alive, like the bakery actually having something to do, right? There's people inside the bakery, they're buying bread or whatever. And I'm working on getting some actual audio sounds from inside a bakery. So Incredibro was kind enough to tell me that he would mix them if needed and clean them up a little bit so we can actually use them in the game. So for now, I just have some placeholder sounds that have actually nothing to do with a bakery. It's just somewhere in a mall. So it's just sound to indicate that it will be activity there. So I want the world to feel alive. So you're walking next to a river. So what you need to hear is that there's a river there. If you're walking through a park, you will hear birds in the background flying through the scene from left to right. You would be able to hear it, right? So very softly, but you hear it, and it just creates a little bit more atmosphere and a little bit more liveliness to a game that otherwise would sound too static, most likely. That's what I at least intend to reach this status. But as you all know, I am like Pippi Longstockings. I've never done it before, so I'm sure I can do it. So there's a lot of stuff that I have never done before, and the spatial audio is really very interesting, but also hard to implement correctly. So, for example, the water reflection, the sound that's on that, I think it works perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be loud. It has to be just there enough that you have an idea that there's water there, right? So you hear the stream of water. Yeah, exactly. So those kind of things should also be there. Like the door is closed and you hear it a little bit muffled, so it's not the same as when the door would be open. I'll talk to you on Discord if you don't mind. I can show you some of the examples of the stuff I'm working on as an accessibility consultant, working with game devs, modders, and if I can help, that'd be a pleasure for me. Yeah. Exactly. Well, this sound has to be muffled, obviously, but I couldn't find that much of an audio library so far. So there's gonna have to be obviously some updates to the audio, but this is a good way of at least testing that it works the way we want it to. And I do like the river sound because it's quite gentle. You hear it, but it doesn't really interfere with anything else, right? So it's there. You hear that there's water, and that already gives you a feeling that you're next to that. And yeah, thank you that you're willing to do that, Incredibro. That's incredible that you're willing to do that for me. I'm really happy about that. And like I always say, donations are very nice. And if somebody ever wants to donate, I really will not say no. Always say though, be careful. If you can't afford it, do not donate. I mean, it will come eventually. Somebody will donate somehow, but it, donations are one thing. Adding your services is something that is coming very close to donating. It's just in a different way, right? So it's very much appreciated. Incredible. I'm gonna have probably a credits list that it's a mile long when by the time I'm done with this game. Anyway, Yeah, the water reflection, I think the sound was good for that. The bakery is still a little too loud, so let me uh, do the volume a little lower. Hey there, guys. One Lion, thank you for the raid, a party of 16. Hello, everybody. Hey, BitGamey and Duka Soft and One Lion, those are people that and thank you for the cheer, Theron. That is so nice of you. I appreciate it a lot. For those of you who are coming in and maybe have never seen me do this before, I'm making a game about my daughter. It's called Gaia. It's going to be for the first level set in Amsterdam, which is why you see a bakery here in my level with a Dutch name, Bakkerij, as they call it here. Yeah, thank you super much for the 100 bits. That's absolutely appreciated. And obviously, also thank you, One Lion, for taking your viewers to me. And yeah, hopefully, I can show them some good time. I really want to. So, excuse my sound. I'm a little nasal. I'm a little bit having a cold. I'm trying not to sound too terrible, but cannot promise you that I will not sound a little bit bad sometimes. I might cough every now and then. Anyway, what I'm doing right now, because Gaia is a game about my daughter, will also be going to Greek mythology a lot. And we're going to make this game accessible to people who are blind, but also have other physical disabilities. So there's a lot of research going on in this game. And right now, we're researching and testing out the use of spatial audio to make sure that whenever you're blind, you can still feel the atmosphere that is going on inside the game. So, for example, now I'm playing around with the audio level that I want for uh, for the bakery sounds, and I will show you in a moment what that sounds like. BitGamey, I totally agree with you. I've been doing that since almost the moment that I started. Um, Every deaf is who is supporting accessibility is my hero. So yeah, thank you so much, Lyrian. Yeah, as you can tell from the name, Lyrian is actually blind, and he's been following me since I've been asking on Twitter for some more information and feedback of blind people to help me get the game playable by them, right? Because obviously I'm not blind. I can see everything I do, and it's really hard to test those things when you actually can see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run this so you guys can actually get a feel of what I mean. From the moment it starts, you will be able to hear a river or very, very gentle sound of a river. That's a little atmospheric sound that you should be able to hear. And then as soon as I get close enough to the bakery, you will be hearing some sounds that come from inside the bakery. And then the closer you get, the louder it gets, and that should be muffled. We already talked about this, but I just found some super simple sounds that I can actually use for this. And as further as you go, the sound will go away. And there's still some quirks that I have to figure out, but you walk away, the sound goes, and all you can hear still is the river, right? So I'm pretty happy with how that goes. Um, I think color blindness is another good thing to consider. There are even assets in the Unity asset store for it. Well, actually, I also know some websites because there's, from what I read, and I'm sure it's not limited to those, there's about 12 different forms of color blindness. And there's a website where you can test your images against all 12 forms of those color blindness types. And you can see if they can still get the general gist out of your image. So far, what I've been using actually has been visible for people with color blindness. So I will keep testing my images against that so they can still have a look of what's actually there. What I also saw that some people who are visually impaired, so they see less, sometimes have a very big need for outlines on your character. So I'm going to work on that also. So as an option to have an outline on your characters or outline on your things that you can interact with and stuff like that. But that's also I don't have it right on the top of my hand, but I would have to look at my saved links because I have a lot of game development links that I have. if you want, please go to my Discord server. I'll add the link right now. So you can actually uh, ask your question there so I can respond to it because I do have it. I just have to look it up. I don't have it right now. Makes the game more immersive. Yeah, what I'm gonna be for sure also doing is everything has to be voice overed. So Gaia, I actually wrote a script for the first level, which I still have to expand on because I think it's too short so far. But that script, everything that's been written in the script has to be in voiceover. So you as a player have the option, obviously, to turn on accessibility options. When you turn on the accessibility options, you can have everything read to you. If you don't, you can have the dialogue still read to you, but then you will not have, for example, the things where Gaia describes what she sees, right? So that doesn't have to be all the time mentioned. That is not necessary. But anything else is already being voiced. I will have everything of dialogue voiced for sure. And then, yeah, just added extra for accessibility options will be the stuff like, hey, I think I have to jump here, right? Stuff like that. So just to make sure that somebody who's running in the game and cannot see what he is doing and he becomes in front of a big gap, he knows that he has to jump, right? And for that, also forgivability options becomes a little bit more important. So you already have things like coyote time, right? When you jump. So if you're already over an edge, you can still jump. And if you're visually impaired, it might be important to stretch up the coyote time a bit more so I can still jump, even if I already well over the edge, right? You don't want somebody to just fall because they have no idea that they have to jump. That is something that you don't want to happen. And there's still a lot more things that I have to do, and I'm gonna have to play a lot of games as research, which I really don't hate at all. But I'm gonna have to do it anyway, right? You have to play games just to know what works. And there's some pretty good games that actually do accessibility options quite right. Um, the only thing is that some of the games that I actually would love to play for it are definitely not free. And yeah, that's a bit harder if you cannot afford to just buy those games to give them a go and to see the accessibility options in action. Because unfortunately, I'm not that rich. I hope the microphone is not too loud, by the way. I see sometimes it goes into the red. If it is too loud, please let me know. I can turn it down a little bit. It is super cool to hear that you're considering that. I mean, I already knew about it, but still cool to talk about. Aside from visual impairments, have you been considering others, or you just have different preferences, like people whose primary input is voice, for example? Well, the primary input voice I have considered. Um, Yet so far I have chosen not to do that yet. Well, also because of an MVP. I'm trying to have a first level coming out and to make sure that I can follow up on that. I want to make my first level playable by normal, not disability people and people who actually are blind or visually impaired. And there's so many more things that I would love to do for this game. I want people to be able to play this who are, for example, physically impaired. They're not able to use both hands. They just use one hand, for example. I want to make sure that they can also play the game. So nothing should be able to stop you from doing that. What would be harder maybe is when you go pure voice controlled, because then I'd have to you're already relying a lot on hardware, right? Somebody would have to have a microphone to be able to play the game. That microphone has to be detected. If for whatever reason it doesn't, you already have a big problem because that person cannot play your game and will ask for a refund, right? So that is something I've definitely been considering, and it's not that hard to actually incorporate if you have microphone detection. I tried it, by the way. My microphone would not be detected. Um, so it's not always so crystal clear why that doesn't work. Um, but yeah, that is definitely something I will also want to look into for the final product. It should be playable basically by everyone. I always have to use quotation marks for that because everyone is really hard to say. Um, I can play Sudden Strike 4 okay with my scripts. You're a voice coder, right? So you do everything by voice? Sounds very interesting. If you're not already on the Discord server, please join the Discord so you can also give me some examples on how you do that and what be required um, for me to try something like that. Not for the first level, right? Because as I said, you're a bit aware of scope creep, and there's always features that you can add later. But I would like my first level to come out at least somewhere next year before I dive into something even deeper. And it sounds like it incredible. I think he codes using text to speech, and he also plays Sudden Strike using text to speech, I guess. I'm really interested with that Marcus voice coder. I hope you will join the Discord server and let us know about that. That would be super cool. Thank you very much in advance. And anyone who hasn't joined yet, if you want to join, I want to join the discussion about the game or give me some tips, or if you want to have questions that you didn't ask during the stream and still want to have answered, please don't hesitate. It's a very friendly server. People are very friendly there. You can show your art, you can show your progress in your own projects as well. We're very easygoing there. So yeah. I think Marcus Voice Coder just joined the Discord server from what I saw. Welcome, thank you for that. And yes, we're gonna have a lot of fun trying to figure out all these different things that we're gonna input into the game. And spatial audio is just the first part. Um, we're gonna also have things like audio cues that are very important for the blind to know when they have to pick something up. And I've been playing around a little bit before with trying to do voice control. One thing that would really be very interesting also is voice control menus for anyone who has a microphone that can use it. Um, and I'm sure there are packages for that do that. Um, so yeah, thank you, Marcus, voice coder, for joining the Discord. And I'd love to hear more about that stuff. That really sounds very interesting to me. Uh, Sorry about the nasal sounds; is really bad. I don't like sounding like too too much of a cold, but it's there, and I cannot ignore it. So yeah, this, like I said before, and for those who came later, this is just placeholder audio. Don't think that this is final. I'm just trying to get the feeling for where the sounds are correct, so that we feel more immersed into a game, right? And Lyrian already, like you said, he really likes it and he can hear it really fine. So I hope that you guys can understand how this is so important to me and why that takes a lot of time, because getting the feeling of the game right and getting the feeling of the audio right will play an important part in this final product. Because without the correct spatial audio settings and without the correct feel of it, it will not immerse you as much as it will with them. So and these things, I think these spatial audio things will not even be behind options. That is something that everybody will want to hear. Uh, it will just be other options that I yet have to define. For that, also, I'd love to play some other games that actually have some accessibility options in them to see what they do, what options they turn on and off based on being blind. Um, yeah, like I said, most of them are unfortunately not free. Otherwise, I would be able to play them already and see the options that they set and what effect that has on the game, right? And one thing I said that I think 2 streams ago, I had a chat with potential investors, which it was way too early for me to have conversations with them. but they were really interested. And one of them came with a very cool question that I didn't think about yet before, but shouldn't be too hard to implement. Um, they came with the question, oh, it's very nice that you're going to do this for the blind, but what would make it maybe even stand out more is what if you just give the people who can see the experience of what it would be like to play this game blind? And I was like, yeah, sure, that actually sounds super logical, right? You give the blind people the experience to play it like everyone else, then why not give the sighted people the chance to play it as if they were blind? Hey, Devro, welcome in, welcome in. I don't know if you were already there. I didn't see you there, but welcome in, welcome in. I think we're having some very good discussions right now. It's very interesting to see what everybody's vision is about this. I'm really happy that we get some interaction on that as well. Um, and one of the things that I really want to start doing is adding more and more sounds to the game to give you guys a feeling of what that can become like, right? I still don't have that many sounds. I have some step sounds that I want to do also based on are you walking on? Are you walking on panel ground? So that means your sound is more like stone where you're walking on. You can have different sounds where you're walking in the park, on snow, or anything else. And that will also change your perception of how the game feels, right? So if Lyrian is playing the game, he cannot see anything, but if he's walking on stone, he will know that, okay, this is not the same as when I'm walking on the grass. And that already gives you so much more immersion into a game because it will definitely be the difference between just walking sounds and walking sounds that are different depending on where you walk. But yeah, there's so much more to think about. I could talk about this for hours and then not get anything done. Does it integrate with screen readers at all? So far, not yet. But I've been planning to do everything that you see on the screen will be voiced anyway. So um, I do not want to have it basically done by screen readers because I don't want the sound of the voices to be too metallic, I would say. Is that the way I should say that? Too robotic? Because so far, any screen reader that I've been hearing is sounding a little bit robotic. I want it to have the real feeling of the game, so that means that the voices should be really voices that are in the game. And if it's, for example, reading out the menu, I would say that could be the same voice or the same person who does the either the narrative one or just a generic male or female voice that reads all the menu options. Yeah, for me, it would ruin the atmosphere, and I don't know. I think people who are blind are used to screen readers, and they don't care maybe so much anymore about the sound sounding robotic. Maybe Liren, if you're still here, you can give your thoughts on that. But for me, I think if I'm playing a game that's about my daughter and I have everything voiced in the game, then I would like also those kind of things like menu options to be in the voice of any of the characters, or even a separate voice, if that makes more sense, because I haven't really thought of that yet. Only that I want everything voiced. Even Clayman Dev is here. I haven't seen Clayman Dev for a while. How's your game going along, Clayman? If you're actually here, maybe you're just lurking, I don't know. I hope you're having a great day. By the way, for those people who do not know Clayman Dev makes a very nice 3D game that I've been following along for a while now. It is a very cool looking, like stick figure guy that you control with a lot of special abilities. It looks very cool and interesting. He had a Streamfest um, time that he had just a few months ago, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were preparing for that, I think. His school is always his school. His stream is always very cool. So be sure to also follow him. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will enjoy that. You write code using Talon Voice. That sounds very interesting, Marcus voice coder. And I'm sure, for example, Liren the blind guy, who's in the stream as well, can sometimes also do stuff like that because he can probably um, code if he wants to using something like that without having to type. Even though I'm sure he can type pretty fine. And being blind doesn't mean you do not know how to type, but it would probably still be needing to be voiced whatever he types, so he knows if he makes a mistake. Um, but yeah, wow, I'm getting so distracted. But it's very interesting though. So what I was thinking is to make the walking sounds for Gaia. For that, I also would need audio on her, which obviously is always going to be close, so that doesn't really have any spatial difference because we're having the audio listener on her. I'm first of all gonna just add the audio source for now. Let's see where I have it. Right on top of her, so that should be fine. And just for having any feeling at all, I'll start with Stepstone 1 and not play on Awake. I do not want this to play until we actually are running, so we'll have to do some coding. Haven't done coding for a while, so that's cool. Hey there, Clayman Def. So you are there. I wasn't sure if you were here. It's the first time you're actually chatting in my stream. Welcome, welcome. I am doing good. As you could maybe tell, I'm doing a lot on 3D audio at the moment, which adds a lot of effects to the game and going to make the game more playable by the blind, which is something that I have as a goal, as you know. So I'm pretty happy with doing this, and also that I'm getting a lot of input, even from people who are actually blind in the chat, which is amazing. I mean, that's what you want, right? That's the way to get your game played by blind people later. So I'm very happy about that. And I was wondering exactly how are you doing? Because I remember I've been coming to your stream a few times after your Stream Next Fest or Steam Next Fest, I should say. How did it go actually? Did you make it in time? Because I remember going to your stream and you were preparing for getting there. I hope you made it. And what was the result of it? Kind of interested in that. And I don't know if I can actually give you a shout out. I don't know how that goes. I don't think I have the command set up. You ended up delaying the game a lot. Ah, that's a shame. Well, anyway, anyone who's here, I don't know how to do a shout out here. I don't think I have a command for that yet. Anyway, you should definitely check out Clayman Dev, a very nice streamer who's very friendly. And yeah, his game looks incredible, very cool, and has a very unique art style, I would say. I like it, and I'm sure the game is going to be incredible when it's done. Okay, so Stepstone, let me get some scripts going. How should I do this? Let's figure it out. I'm going to put the audio manager maybe to do that. Let's add a script to that. That's a new script. There we go. Create and add. You know that you guys are all super lucky because today was also Sing mode was again redeemed by Half Moon, who does that a lot of times. I really wants me to sing a lot, but I can tell you it's not good for your ears if I do. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. So, first of all, we will need a reference. Let's do it serializable. Do the audio, audio, uh, audio. What was it again? Audio source. Wow, I'm terrible sometimes. I forget words that I should know from the top of my head. We should have an awake method. Awake. Wow, I cannot type today, guys. Sorry. I haven't been typing much, so I didn't need to, but there we go. Obviously, we want to have this as a singleton, so I'm gonna need a public audio source instance. Uh, no, that should not be with an underscore, and it should be like that. If damn it, my nose is bothering me right now. Sorry about that. Oh, audio source instance. No. We will create a new instance. Instead of this, and I think my friend is active somehow. A friend of mine is active on Steam, and I keep seeing a pop-up of that. I think you see that in the corner. I made sure you practiced today. Yeah, well, my practicing was also not so great. That's why I needed 59 lines of code to play your game to the end. By the way, guys, check out Incredibro. If you're not already in the Discord server, go join the Discord server. And in the Discord server, you will find a link in the share your progress by Incredibro. And Incredibro has made a very cool game where you have to actually code to get through the level. And I think it's really cool. So, what was I doing? I forgot that I need to make this static. That's what I was forgetting. And then still, um, it's your work. What the heck? Uh, okay. Yeah, audio manager. That's what it was. Sometimes you dream. That is something that happens. Yeah. Great, bro, for sharing that link. And everybody, if you like pretty original games, I would definitely suggest that you check it out. It's really cool. I mean, I haven't seen many games where you have to code your way out, right? Um, shouldn't already exist, so that should work. No, that should be my game object, obviously. There we go. So we already have that. It happens to me more often than I guess it happens to you, because I wish I could do this every day, but I can't. So then sometimes you just lose your sense of what was I doing in programming again? How the heck did that work? I did this before, but how again? I don't remember. So yeah, we need to have the audio source on our audio manager. We don't have that yet, I think. So we will have, oh, you already did. Yes. My audio source here, and I will not have to have a clip basically, because I will tell the audio manager which clip I want to play. right? That should be how I want to do it. So I will have a function in here, void play clip, and then I should have audio clip in there. And basically that should not be much different than clip dot play. No, audio source dot clip. Damn it, I forgot everything. I feel so stupid right now. I have to check my example of the last game that I did. So easy, it's just an audio clip to play, right? Audio source dot. Maybe I should just put it to clip first, right? Uh, source dot plays the clip. But you have to set the clip first, right? Default audio clip to play. Is clip. Okay, and then audio source dot. It's the simplest implementation of this clip. So I should be able to call this audio manager from anywhere, and then say that public, otherwise I can't. Become a little bit too hard. I should be able to do that from, for example, my move script, which I'm actually at right now. So if I'm running, let me see, it's running. And we should be able to do audio manager dot clip, play clip, keep play clip. Nope, play clip. I don't know why I didn't recognize it yet. It wasn't built, I guess. Shouldn't be static. For whatever reason, it won't work. Um, well, of course, it needs a clip before it will work. For that, I would have to have an audio clip here, and I want to make like a range of clips, an array of clips. Array. Don't have to go to the next line, mister. That should work. I see that you just put in an example of that programming the game Marcus Voice Coder. Thank you for that. I shouldn't do this too much because I get really distracted. Bad me, bad me, bad boy. So Gaia has a move script, and in this move script, I should now be able to set. Oh, right. You couldn't do that directly, right? And I do a list of audio clips directly. Things that I used to know from the top of my head are not coming today. But there was a reason why you could not do arrays directly. You could do one clip, but not several. Oh, well, let's start with one then. Comma expected. Oh, here. Uh, where is it? Steps. Oh, it was steps, right? Yeah, steps clip. Oh, damn it. I'm seriously not awake today. I don't know what is wrong with me. And usually it doesn't happen. Sorry about that, guys. That should work. So as soon as I'm running, I play it, and I should be, for example, audio manager dot influence. I should make a top one dot uh, to make sure that I can also stop running. Not saying that it's perfect, probably could be done much better. Should work, right? Cannot be zero, shouldn't be zero. Probably need to build that in later, but this should work. Should. Telling you it should. For that, we need to have the clip. We don't have the clip set to Gaia yet. I might have been able to do the array. Let's just go back to that. Because I thought it was possible. Let's see this. Should be possible. Oh. Will not work unless there's a zero. Building, come on. Wrong one. So let's see. Yeah, now I have an array so that I can do. And I want to make the stone ones appear. Two. Thought I had more. Yeah, stone, stepstone one, stepstone three, and stepstone four, at least. Five. Yes, I have several clips and I want to alternate a little bit between them because the more I have, the more variation the walking will be. The last one, I think, yes, there we go. Shouldn't be clicking the wrong screens. You guys are all very quiet now, probably to see me go make stupid mistakes. This is when you're, I don't know about you, but here's when my imposter syndrome starts to kick in because I forget the simplest things that I usually just shake out of my sleeve. But now that I'm streaming, I totally forget how to do stuff. And it really feels terrible if you ever have that feeling. It's awful. So I will want to alternate between different clips. So that is, um, I think I should have two different functions. Because one is where I have this one sound that I just want to play, and other ones could be that I have random sounds, multiple. Shouldn't always be the same one, and maybe even change pitch or stuff like that. Um, kind of wondering how I will make that work. But for now, I just have the first one that I have. Doesn't really matter, just want to hear that it works. Sounds horrible. Plays a little bit too fast. I should make it play until the end or something. There's another option, right? There's an overload for. Let's try it. Let's see what it has. Play on gamepad, play, delay, play one shot. Scales the audio source volume by volume scale. So what is the overload? It have an overload, but it doesn't show me the overload. Play. Because now it just basically keeps starting over and over. If you call play on an already playing sound, nothing happens unless the sound is done playing. So this is useful. What does play one shot do? I think is fine. Yeah, but yeah, there's a delay option as well. Unused parameter clip if it is not part of the shipped public API. Parameter audio clip. So you can give it the audio clip. But it makes no sense because I think the clip is fine, right? So let me check this one. I don't know which one it's playing. I guess the one that is first in the list that was Stepstone 2. Sounds pretty okay. Doesn't sound very much like a little girl running, but I think it goes way too fast. I think that's basically what you see. But um, Unity sound repeats. Uh, Play on input get down and stop on input get up. Yeah, that's not what I need. I think it starts over too fast. So basically you do not hear a step because you already hear the next part of the sound effect again. Obviously I can delay it, but I don't think a delay is what we need. Um, let's, let's basically see. Sleep, right? Sleep. Uh, hmm, sleep timeout. No, I don't want a screen sleep timeout. It was different. I thought it was sleep, but Unity delay, no delay. Yeah, then I have to make it a coroutine. I think that's a little bit too much. No, do something too. And I think there's also a way to make your audio clip play till it's complete. Uh, Unity audio wait for sound to complete. Yeah, wait for audio to finish playing. Is playing field that you can check. What I could do if not audio source is playing, then I play the audio source. Okay, that sounds like it might work. So let's try that out. Obviously, we'll have to time them better. No, it's not looping. But as you know, this is placeholder audio, so it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. In the end, we will have to time them to her steps, right? So that it's actually the sound of her putting her feet down on the ground. But this is the sound of stone. So let's try it with the sound of stepping on dirt. Kind of want to hear the difference. So I'll change the first one to dirt one. Remind me that I need to put this back and then see if it sounds different. Should be. That's definitely dirt. Right. So we also have snow. I want to hear that. And with snow, she definitely is running way too fast. It's also logical because you cannot run so fast in snow. And then the last one that I want to try out before I change it back to the original one is to have the sound of wood. Yeah, sounds pretty good. We have it working, so that's what I like. We have the audio manager separated, so that will just deal anything to do with audio. We can just put all the audio clips on it, and it will just be played from our audio manager. So that should be cool. Um, on the other hand, I might even want to have the audio clips from here, but then I might have to do too many things. I'm wondering about that. The cleanest thing would be that Gaia herself doesn't know anything about all these clips. She doesn't care. She just needs to know that she's moving, and when she's moving, she wants to have steps, right? I probably will do some refactoring on this later if I have a chance, and see if I can move all the audio stuff to the audio manager. So all the running sounds for Gaia to be on Stone will be there in a separate thing, and the same for all the other ones. But let me put Stepstone 2 back where it was. So now we are having stepping, we have sound for the bakery, we have sound for water, and there's still stuff to do. I will look now for something like a pickup. It doesn't really matter what I will use as a pickup, but oh, damn. Sorry about that. One website I usually go to is opengameart.org. I'm doing it right now, just to see if I can find something that um, sounds remotely usable for what I'm trying to do. In this case, I'm looking for a pickup sound. Coin sounds. Oh, you know what? Let me show you what I'm searching. There you go. So there's different things that you could look for. So live pickup, positive item pickup, coin sound effect, secret coin, 8-bit sound effects, car door. Car door, what the hell does it? Okay, pickup. Okay, the pickup truck. That was a little bit far fetched. Key pickup, plastic pickup sound, yet another retro sound pack. People are really running out of inspiration sometimes finding names for their sound effects, right? Key pickup, cutler sounds. Secret coin might be interesting. Let me hear that one. Okay, bit too frantic for my taste, but 8-bit sound. Nope, sorry, don't like it. Oh, that has a lot of stuff. 45 sounds in high definition web. Footstep, inventory open, Ingles. Okay, that might have something that I might use, but to have 45 sounds for just one might be a bit too much. Might be that might be searching for too much. Ow. I'll just download them. Who cares? The BBC archive have a lot of sounds. BBC archive from the actual website of the bbc.co.uk, or am I thinking of a different BBC than you do? Could be. Nothing strange. Let me see. What do I have? WAF and MP3. I would say the pickup gold stuff would be that I want to put into my folder. Here we go. And go to Unity. Here we go. We got some new sounds here. Pickup. Gold 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh god, my voice is going. Sorry, guys. Sorry, it was away. What sound you want? Thank you. But I'm looking for some pickup sounds that I might be able to use. I'm not sure yet what I want to use for objects to pick up. I'm thinking something with Greek relations. So I've been thinking about that, but Greek mythology collectibles. But then you don't really find much. Um, but those kind of things would be cool, like these kind of icons, no? Something that is definitely from Greek mythology, like a harp or a vase or something like that. Um, or even this coin that looks like a Medusa coin. That could be interesting. Um, but it's really hard to find something interesting to pick up in Greek mythology. I just don't want to be a game with another coin pickup. You know, there's like a ton of coin pickups everywhere. That is not something I want to be doing. So that probably would be an icon that is a little bit more unique to Greek mythology. And that's something, especially in the first level, that you would not expect. And it already makes you give a little bit of a hint that we're going to go over to the Greek mythology. Um, and that is also something that I would like for it to be giving you a hint. Like there's something that we're going to get. Give me a moment, I'll get you something. Incredible, you're incredible. Pandora's jar, yeah, that could be something. Pandora's jar, or like like a vase or something that maybe I'll make something like a vase that you break, and then there's something inside there that should be a bit small, because it should be something that you actually can pick up. You're a 5-year-old girl in the game, so we're not gonna carry a ton of Pandora's boxes around, right? But it could be something like a box or a vase that we break. I don't know. And just for reference, Apollo, Ares, Zeus, Artemis, Dionysus, Hermes, Athena, I think, Poseidon, and Aphrodite are at least gods that you will face in this game. I have them listed somewhere. I could be making a mistake. Let me read that because I actually wrote that down. I'm not dumb because I was brainstorming before. So let me tell you which levels I've thought of. I have Hades, I have Zeus, Athena, Ares, Aphrodite, Dionysus, Apollo, Hera, and yeah, a final level where you will meet a very powerful boss, but I don't know yet. Maybe even a combination, and maybe I'll make even more levels depending on how I feel and how quick everything will go. Hello, Stack the Pile, and welcome. Thank you for the raid. 4 people in the raid. That's always nice. 4 people extra. Welcome, everyone. In case you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm looking for some inspiration on pickups that look a bit like they could come from Greek mythology. And I was telling about hello, Stack the Pile. And I was telling about some of the gods that you will face in the game eventually. And if you're new here to the channel, which could definitely be, I'm making a game called Gaia, which is about my daughter. Here she is right now, a 5-year-old girl, not 4-year-old. Damn it, Daddy, say it correctly. Which is going to play first level in Amsterdam because we live in the Netherlands and we want to have it recognizable. And after that, we will dive into the world of Greek mythology, where we will face different gods that are making a mess of the world, basically just like our world leaders are doing. Nothing weird there, right? It's a direct reference. So the goddess Gaia is needing help because in Greek mythology, and if you know Greek mythology, you will probably know this, Greek gods are not allowed to fight each other, and especially Gaia will never fight the other gods because basically they're her children. So she needs help from outside, and basically is getting my daughter using a portal to get to the world of Greek mythology where she will face those. Um, and every part of the world where she faces a god, once she beats the god, will become cleaner again because they're making a mess. And you will see some visual indication that something is wrong. It's not correct. It's not as you would expect it. All the levels will also be based on what you are facing. So if you're facing, for example, Ares, you will see much more things like groups of armies with soldiers in it. If you're going to the world of Dionysus, you will see more vines with wine and grapes and everything like that. So the world will be different depending on which god you will be facing in that level. So I've written out a lot of stuff already about what I want to do in those levels, but I'm still in prototyping phase. And what I'm doing today, for example, which is the most important part, is we're doing positional audio and we're testing that out because this game will also be, if I forget everything works the way I planned, it will also be playable by the blind or anyone with visual impairment, or even later, which is not for the demo yet, but also for people with physical impairments. So, for example, if you're only able to play with one hand, it should not be an obstacle to be playing this game in the end. Yeah, that is true. Gods are not allowed to fight each other, so they always use different tactics. If you read some books on Greek mythology, you will always see some really cool reference on how, for example, Hera is using peasants to make sure that her husband Zeus, who is making a lot of passes at other people and other spirits that he meets, to get to him in another way. She never does it directly because she could obviously chop off his private parts, but she doesn't because she is not allowed to. It's it's not very common. You don't see it very often in the rules, but it is one of those things that Greek gods don't do. So they always do with a workaround. So they work around the problems that they're having. And yeah, Gaia would never fight her own children, so that would be a bit dumb. You would not fight your children, but she wants to stop them from making a mess, basically. So I also will have to think of how the fight mechanics will be in the end, because I probably will not actually kill them, but I will stop them. So there will not have to be a death involved for the god, but there will be. Uh, isn't that what happened to her husband? That the husband got his parts chopped off, you mean? And from what I remember, I have to dive back into my Greek mythology. Gaia was together with Kronos, or was it the other guy? It was another one, I think. And at least they paired together, which actually is weird because the one she was going with was also her son. Um, Greek mythology is weird like that, but that's also why it's so damn interesting, right? I love Greek mythology, and those little side stories that you have in Greek mythology, I will try to incorporate that into the levels. Like, for example, that you see a guy looking at his own reflection, and then when you come back later, you will see a flower in the same position, being Narcissus. Uh, yeah, Kratos is an exception. Kratos is basically not an actual god. He is a half god, as far as I remember. But yeah, anyway, that's also one of those things that I want to take into consideration. And yeah, demigods are plenty indeed. And Gaia, of course, my daughter is called Gaia, so that's why the game is called Gaia. She's actually also a Gaia, and she will meet Gaia in the end and be sent back to us, where she will be richer of the experience. That's the idea, at least. And I hope to give the player of this game the feeling at the end of the game that if a 5-year-old can change the world for the better, so can you, right? That's also something I want to have at the end of the game. Uh, so yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. And for those who just came in right now, I will show you a little bit what I was doing with the audio. And please bear with me. The audio is all placeholder. It's nothing that is final yet. Incredibro will do some of the audio for sure. But as you can see, And here, hopefully, you have a little bit of a river sound right now going on. And when I run, I have a placeholder running. And you can hear sounds from the bakery when I'm there, and it will fade away when you walk away from it. That's basically what I'm prototyping right now, just to give you more of a feeling of what you can do with this audio, with the panning, to make sure that a blind person can also experience the atmosphere. He or she will be able to feel where we are. If you're running through a busy area, you will hear it. So it goes fast. If I run past it, it will be obviously something you can hear when you're standing here. You should be able to hear birds later. Of course, I don't have those sounds yet, but all of those little things should make the world feel more alive. And also for somebody who's blind, it should actually give them a feeling of what is happening in this world. So they don't just have to rely on whatever I let Gaia or any narrator that I put into the game tell about the atmosphere. Hear it. Um, I see some sounds are coming in from Incredibro Greek pickups. That's cool. Thank you so much for that. I will not reveal any names, so don't worry about that. um, I saw that you sent me some sounds, so I will definitely download those and check them out. Um, Let me see if I can do that. Don't want to do that now. No, 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 no. You shouldn't see that. Shouldn't be in this. Okay, I will not do that during the stream anymore because nobody should see names. That's wasn't intended to be there. I hope you didn't see that. And if you did, try to do that. You didn't see that. Anyway, yeah. For that, I guess I have to put my browser in another window. Then I could do it. Um, but yeah, that was not supposed to happen. Not supposed to be in your screen. So to be able to download them now, nobody can see this, so that's good. I have three different sounds, right? Yeah, it's not. I'm just telling you, I will not reveal your name, and then it just comes into the screen really fast. I hope nobody really saw that, but yeah. To move those, rename them also to my downloads. They're all named the same, or is it just one sound? Because I get all of them are called Greek pickup M4A. Let me see. We will figure it out quick enough if I put them in the game. Put it like that. Then we can put these in the right directory. Project, audio. Here we go. Put them Greek pickup. There's three of them. That's okay. I mean, I'm already super happy to make them, so I got three Greek pickups. They're different type. They're M4A, of course. Um, Obviously, I can play them, but let me play them like this. That sounds nice. Can have also that use different variations, maybe even for certain items be more important than others, or for health or stuff like that. I could see myself using that for sure. Thank you for that. I should be able to use also M4A, right? Or do I have to convert that first? Let me see if that works. If I can place it here, then I can use it. No, I have to convert those. But that's okay. I know that they sound good, and I will just convert them to either WAV or MP3, and that should work fine. Thanks. I really appreciate that. That's already sounding 10 times better than I could have thought of with the pickups. I don't know how they sound. I didn't check it. Yeah, that's boring. 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 All boring. Anyway, I'm glad I got some new sounds. I will have to convert them. I will not do that today. That's a different website probably that I need to use for that, and it's all fine. Anyway, the steps also will become different and will have to be timed to the animation of Gaia, I'm sure, to make it sound a little bit better and actually be in sync with her running. So, yeah, that will also take time, but yeah, nothing too difficult to do. Might even be able to do that myself using Audacity, although I do not have the audacity to think that I'm good at audio. Uh, but was that something you were looking for? Yes, it is definitely something I'm looking for. I really like that. And I could, doesn't even matter what I pick up, I could use those sounds for different things. So, for example, the first one could be something like the equivalent of a coin pickup. The second one could be something like a health pickup, and the third one like a special item that you pick up. Like a new weapon that you're gonna need to fight one of the gods. Or for the portal, yeah, a portal sound is also something that I'm gonna have to get. Like you go into a portal, and that is definitely in the works still. For those of you who are new to my channel, obviously you have not seen what I've been trying to create before as a portal, which is still not finished because I want it to be animated with uh, vines and twigs, everything around it, and leaves coming out of it. But I will show you it anyway. I hope you like it. I do, at least. This is what I came up with, which is really a nature look. So, yeah, really greenish, and I can have variations of it. Do an imitation of it. I'll make it an imitation of it, and I'll make it. Yeah, I really have to think of a sound that fits this kind of portal because this will have a longer animation that starts it off. So basically, where the twigs are going around this portal, because you don't see this yet. All I have so far is this part, but it will become engulfed in twigs um, and twigs and leaves, and that all animated. And then when it's done, this will rotate, and that will have like a vortex kind of sound. Um, but yeah, there's still a lot to be done for that. And anyone else who's new to the stream, you probably haven't seen my baker yet, except for behind the window, maybe. That's this guy that I created. I've also created a bicycle that I want to have driving through the level. It has the favorite colors of my daughter. I had created already a cheese wheel and a rubber ducky, which was a request by a girl in this village. Um, yeah, the sound that I want will have to have immersiveness. Yeah, 3D. Damn it, I need to drink. So sound will have to be, yeah, more 3D sounding at least. And obviously, it doesn't have to be completely 3D, but has the needs to have the feeling of being 3D. God, it's getting worse. It's always at the end of the evening, right? Then your voice is starting to go when you're already having a cold. And the night is the worst. So yeah, basically for anyone who's new here, that's a little bit of an insight of what I'm trying to do with this game. And my biggest challenge, obviously, being that if you're blind, you should be able to play this. If you're not, then you should also have a challenge enough to make it fun to play. I do not wish to make this a precision platformer, which is something that has been done way too many times already. What I want is a storytelling adventure like 2D platformer where you will have really the feeling of having experienced something that is making you a better person. If I can reach that with even one person, I think it's going to be a success. So I think we got quite a long way today, which is something I'm really proud of. The audio works the way I want it to. We have the spatial audio set up, so we have different ambient sounds, and I can set them up the way I want them to. So I'm going to have to tweak with the audio levels a little bit when I can hear it better myself. So for that, probably I will put on headphones. And yeah, now we can start to really build up a level. I wrote a script for this level, and I'm going to have to expand on that script. I will have to get tile sets that I'm going to have to make, and those tile sets will have to be much more than this, because what I have right now obviously is just a canal wall. I want this to be going into a park in the end, and in the park is where you will see the portal erect from the floor. So basically come out of the ground in a natural way, as the goddess Gaia obviously is erecting this one from the ground. So it should feel natural. Like I wanted to do it first just in this canal setup, but I figured that is not fitting for what I actually want to do because it doesn't fit in this world. So it would be totally not belonging, basically. Um, but yeah, that doesn't have to mean anything yet. It's just that I don't think it will end up there. Oh, by the way, I didn't show you guys this one. This is a concept drawing that I've made so far. I'm not done with this at all, but that's one of the most famous museums of the Netherlands that I want to also incorporate and get into this game. Also, what you see here is a double drawbridge that Gaia will jump over, which will form a basic and very important mechanic in the game because that's where I, as the dad, am not able to follow. And when I'm not able to follow, yeah, obviously that means that I cannot go after her. So she's going to step through the portal that erects from the ground after that, and then she's on her own in the world of Greek mythology. So that gives you a little bit of an insight of what is about to come. There's still much more to be done, obviously, and I'm not super fast. I'm doing this only on my own whenever I have time, which is not very often. I'm hoping to get some funding going, and once I have that, I can hopefully spend some more time or actually hire some pixel artists who can do some of the work on the pixel art for me to get things going a little faster. I can write a parallax script without a problem. That's not an issue. I can write the code for most of this without too much of a problem. I'm gonna have to fix bugs, of course. That is like super obvious, like the fact that I get stuck sometimes while running. That's not gonna happen in the end, of course. I did, as you may have been able to see before, um, put in coyote time. So when you're running to the edge, basically, and you cannot walk any further, you can still jump like a little bit. See, you can still do that when you're already over the edge. I'm gonna have to put in animations for her jumping, for maybe a wall slide, a wall jump, all that stuff, which is obviously still not there. I have a lot to do. I have to work a little bit um, on the camera settings because I wanted to show more of the scene when I'm running. Really, as you see, incorporated that we zoom out when we run, zoom in when we stand still. Can do the same when we're fighting and stuff like that. So that is already set up, and I'm really glad I did that. But we still need to tweak those settings because obviously it makes no sense if this beautiful building that we actually made for this game is not fully visible, right? We will want that to be visible. And there will obviously be buildings like that Rijksmuseum that I just showed you. It's really one of the biggest museums that we have in the Netherlands. It will be more in the background, obviously. Otherwise, I cannot show this museum. It might be like a moment where you don't have control of the player and you just zoom out a little bit of the scene, seeing Gaia in front of the Rijksmuseum, so you know that it's there. You can see it in its full glory before going back to the action and taking control back of Gaia. That's all not 100% clear yet how I want to do that. I have the script. I need to make sure that I incorporate all those things and ideas and camera settings. I'm also a hobby movie maker, so I do know a little thing about camera settings, and I'm gonna have to play around with this. This is gonna take time, and before I have the first level the way I want it to, it's gonna take still several months. I'm sure of that. Especially if I want all the pixel art to be in place. I might have to do some placeholder buildings where there's actually not really a building there. I don't know yet, but it's all gonna get there. You have to believe me. I will get it. I will get it there. Anyway, as it's 10 and I still I'm not 100% okay. I think I'm gonna leave it at that for today. But let me have a look first who we can rate out to, because I do not want to leave you guys hanging. And there's so many nice streamers that deserve a visit. So let me have a look. We have today. Oh, that might be cool. No worry, why? No worries, one lion. It's. I told you before. It's always okay, even if you're just lurking. Do whatever feels natural, and you're always welcome in my stream to lurk or to be active. Either way is fine. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go, and this is something that I've not done before. I'm gonna go raid you guys to Blind Warrior Swen, who's also a totally blind gamer. So I think that might be interesting for you guys to join that stream today. And be kind, obviously, as I've always taught you guys. Be kind to this person, and yeah, let them know that we appreciate them. Pretty long name though. And thank you for the compliment of it being fun times. It's what I aim to achieve every time. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope to see you again next time. If you're not following me already, maybe hit that follow button, and I'll see you on the next stream. Thank you so much. Bye. Here we go. And get ready.